The effectiveness, the success of the aviation system in North America has been based on safety, reliability, and transparency of decision-making, both in terms of certification of aircraft, pilot qualifications, and when there are incidents. Mr. Terwell, you recall last week there was a briefing for members of the committee on the 737 MAX certification. I asked a question. I asked what the FAA had done in the process of reviewing and certifying the MCAS system. To be honest with you, sir, I got a whole description of what the system did and didn't do, but I didn't get an answer to my question. At no point did I. And then we're greeted by, as Mr. Fazio notes, this Wall Street Journal article. So I'll ask the question again. I'll ask it for the record, and I will ask you to submit in writing to the committee what were the steps the FAA took in reviewing the MCAS system and the accompanying training. Because I've asked it now 3 times. And I'd be blunt with you, sir, with all due respect, I haven't gotten a direct answer, and the committee deserves it.
We will get that answer for you, sir.
That would be deeply appreciated, and I'd like it straight up. What was the engagement in the system throughout the process in detail? Don't worry about boring me. I don't believe the chair is going to be bored by reading this. I certainly am not. We need to understand that, because there's a critical component of this.
Yeah, I can assure you that the MCAS system was examined and certified, because it was a new system to the MAX.
It was.
And we retained it, and we had the oversight of that, and we certified it.
Well, as you may recall, I asked the question and didn't get an answer that was anywhere close to satisfactory. I'd appreciate it. Let's transition to, as is noted, the 737 MAX has flown 57,000 flights in North America without an incident. Part of the difference is the training of the aviators, the pilots. I mean, I've done some instruction. I don't have a pilot's license. I don't have enough time. But what's clearly made to me is first thing you aviate, you fly the plane. Then you navigate, then you communicate. So, yeah, I've seen a stick shaker. They made me do it. It's interesting. I'm concerned that, and I'm trying to be respectful because they're deceased. The pilot in command of the Ethiopian Air was 29 years old and was reported to have 8,100 and change hours of flight. Now, let me give you some examples. Close friends of mine are commercial pilots, flew for major corporations. He's 58, has 17,000 hours. The other gentleman is 63, also flew for major corporations in private flight. Is 63 years old, has 20,000 hours. The first officer had 361 hours. Do we not have concerns with not only the training of pilots in other nations, but the reliability of their logs to try and claim 8,100 hours at age 29? How many pilots do you know have over 8,000 hours at 29 years of age?
Mr. Mitchell, I don't know anybody 29 years old that has 8,100 hours, but I'm not going to say that that's not possible. And the answer to your question is, do we want to examine and take a very hard look at the training standards globally? Yes, absolutely. We've been involved. The U.S. has led on pilot training for many years, and we do that at the International Civil Aviation Organization, the UN body that provides the guidance for standards around the world.
I think it needs to be an issue that we address with ICAO and as we deal with this, because clearly with the disparity is concerning to me. One quick question, I guess I would also ask you to submit this for the record because time is going to run short. In reference to my colleague's question, part of the reason for the delay or the delayed response to the United States is we got our data from Canada, did we not?
Indirectly, yes, sir.
We didn't have the data, the same level of specificity that Canada had because we don't have access to that system that they use for their traffic control, correct?
We do have access to it, sir, but Canada got it first because it came from a company that the air traffic services in Canada is partial
Can you submit
owner.
that whole process, that whole timeline in writing to the committee, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. One last comment. I believe that we've got the most advanced aviation system in the world. We'll find multiple factors that contribute to this terrible tragedy. One of which will be we didn't see things that could have come up. It's hard to sometimes have a crystal ball. But when you do recertify this aircraft, I will be among the first to buy a ticket to fly in the plane because I have faith in our aviation system, I have faith in the FAA, and I have faith in Boeing and the aircraft they fly. I'll buy one, I'll fly it somewhere to make the point that we have to trust our aviation system. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Thanks, sir.